Hello everyone, my name is Sumana and in today's video I'll be speaking to all about the roles and responsibilities of a program manager. Now, a lot of y'all who are interested in a career in program management want to understand what the role is like, what a person exactly does in this role. Then this video is for you. And also somebody who's interested in a career like program management, but you don't exactly know what it is. You're wondering if you could be a right fit in for this role. Then this video can be helpful for you all because I'll also be talking about the qualities or some of the attributes which are required as a program manager. And if you all think you have these qualities and you think that works for you and you find these qualities pretty interesting, and then maybe you should go ahead and try and pursue a career in program management, right? So let's get started. I had earlier made a video on a difference between a project manager and a program manager. Hope you all have seen that because there I give a little glimpse of what a program manager does in his day-to-day life. Here I'll be speaking a little more in detail so that you all understand how different it is from a project manager, and also exactly what a program manager does, right? Okay, so let's get started. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a program manager looks after the entire program, okay? And that's a set of projects, right? A collection of projects make up the entire program. So, as a program manager, my responsibility would be to take care of all the projects, right? Basically, not deep dive into the individual projects because you have project managers who look after individual projects and they report to you. So you have to constantly be in touch with the project managers of the individual projects which make up the entire program, and then you have to make sure that you understand all the projects well and that they are running smoothly, right? So a responsibility of all the projects is one of the key responsibility or a role of a program manager. Also, being a program manager, you plan. So initially you plan the entire program. There are delivery timelines for it, so make sure you deliver the program on the set timeline, because that's a very important criteria for the company as well as for the client you're working on. Even if it's an internal program, it's very important for the company to meet the deadlines, because there are costs involved and any delay would cause a burden to the company, right? So it's very important to make sure as a program manager that the program is delivered on the set timelines, right? That's the second most important point. Also, being a program manager, as I mentioned earlier, it's very important to be aware of all the projects which are under that program. Now, how would you do that? Is because obviously you can't deep dive every time in every project, although you have to be aware about what is going on in every project. What you do is you coordinate with the leads, which are the project managers of the different projects. So you have to constantly keep meeting them, talking to them, see what are their concerns, if there are some hiccups in those projects which they are running. Try and understand how you can help that person overcome those hurdles. So you have to constantly, for that to happen, to understand how smoothly the project can progress, you have to constantly be in touch as a program manager, to constantly be in touch with all the project managers and see to it that things are going on the right track, right? There are no hiccups, if there are blockers, try to identify them by talking to the project managers very frequently and sort of tracking it, okay? So that way even the project managers will be happy, that they'll be delightful that they're able to talk to you about it, and more coordination will create greater outcomes, and that will in turn benefit the entire program as a whole, right? And then next, you have to manage the initiatives. So whatever initiatives are planned with the program, there'll be so many different initiatives because it's an entire program which you're managing. There are initiatives which would have been discussed in the initial stages when the program was planned entirely, and also as and when you progress with the program and the different projects, there'll be initiatives which you plan at different stages of different projects as well, to make sure that you manage that really well, because they become a very crucial part of your entire program, right? So your responsibility is to manage that really well and see to it that things function smoothly, right? The entire program life cycle, like how there's a project life cycle, same way there's a program life cycle, which is again that from A to Z, that is from the starting point of the program, that's when it starts, till the end point. You have to make sure that the entire life cycle of the program is managed very smoothly. So right from conception of the program until it's completed, till the closure, you have to be very alert, and the entire, it's like your baby, you have to treat it like your baby, the program like your baby, and then you have to manage everything, from the it's it from macro management till micromanagement. You have to do everything for that entire program, so the entire burden of the smooth handling of the program lies on you. So the program lifecycle management is the most important thing for you, and which forms the entire program, and you have to make sure it runs smoothly for you. Okay. Then also, as and when you run this program, initially you would have planned the program well, and the entire planning would have been done for the entire program and how the projects are being carried. Make sure that the execution is as per the plan, and that's exactly how you'll do that, is by monitoring and controlling. It's the same steps what you follow in project management. You have to monitor everywhere during the execution, and making sure that it is as per the plan, nothing is going it's not digressing from the plan. And in case some project or some project manager is doing something else without informing you, that's not right. Everything has to be as per plan. And if something is going a little bit of digressing from the plan, that person has to come and responsibly inform you about the same, because if he doesn't, then there's a breach, and that's not possible, and that's not acceptable in a project. So everything has to go as per plan, the execution has to be as per plan, and the monitoring, that the execution is going as per plan, this has to be your duty, and you have to make sure that it is going as per the plan which was initially decided, right? So that's also a part of your job, right? Now, as I mentioned, you have to deliver the project on the program on time. At the same time, for delivering, you the most important things as a program project manager is, one is the following the timelines. The second thing is also like the budget, right? Making sure that the entire, it's not just one project cost you're thinking of, it's the entire program cost which you have to keep in mind. You have to make sure that the budget, the costs which are incurred is in alignment with the allocated budget. It's not exceeding the given budget. For that, you have to make sure, you have to keep be very alert and track with every project, making sure that they are spending as per the budget which is allocated for those projects, and that they are not exceeding it. And also the risks which are associated with the project, make sure that the required necessary risk mitigation steps are taken care at different stages in the project, so that there are no hurdles which are happening later on. So you have to make sure, you have to oversee that very well. You have to oversee that the budget is not exceeded. You have to oversee that there are no risks happening in any part of the projects, or in any of the projects, in any stage of the project. You have to make sure that if there are risks, come up with mitigation plans which work out well, and which curb the risks associated with the project, right? So that's a very important step. Also, managing the stakeholders, that is, it could be your internal stakeholders within the team, external stakeholders, making sure that everybody is managed very well. In the sense, managed very well is making sure that can only happen through communication. As a program manager, I need to have excellent communication skills. I need to understand their concerns if they are coming up, if they have certain concerns during their project. Making sure that I address them and have team meetings very frequently, understand the role of every stakeholder involved in the project, okay? Understand how each one is getting engaged at different stages in the program, and making sure that they do their job. So, your job is to make sure others do their job, okay? And that's one of the most difficult things. But then it's very important as a manager that you make sure that others do their job, and for that you have to very well understand how each of the stakeholders are involved and what is their significance in this program. And you have to make sure that they are doing their job, right? And if they're not doing it, try and ask them what's stopping them or what's blocking them, and have a conversation and sort of understand their problems and their concerns. And so you have to help them out in that and find solutions, and then make sure that the problem is resolved and the project moves ahead, so that the entire program is not affected, right? um, Aligning with the deliverables, making sure, see, every project, as you all know, they have timelines. In each, as I mentioned, a program is consisting of individual projects. Now these individual projects will also have different stages of completion. They'll have different milestones, okay? Within which they need to, like, within this period you have to complete the first stage of the project. After 6 months you have to complete like 2 3 stages. You have Gantt charts wherein you track the same. You have different tools which is used to track the same. So you'll sort of have to make sure that within the timelines, that the project managers are following those timelines which are set up by them, and the deliverables happen on time, and nothing is digressing from the planned agenda of the projects, right? So making sure that everything is happening within the set timelines for the individual projects as well, right? So that's one important task as a program manager which has to be done, right? Then you have to coordinate with everybody and see to it that everybody use their skills in the best way possible. See to it that somebody who's lacking behind something, there can be another person who can help that person. Come up with backup plans if plan A is not working out for a team. Then you don't like waste time digging onto that. Come up with a plan B. There's already a plan B which you'll have to make in the planning phase itself, and see to it that you execute plan B if plan A is not possible, right? Like for example, if there's an important project which is running, it's which a part of your program, and one crucial person who is very valuable for that project, he falls sick, and he's not available for the project, and then you have to deliver it within the given timeline. So you can't just say that, oh my god, like there's nothing I can do. You can't. You have to, as a program manager, you can't really do that. You have to own that up, and you have to always think these things, keep these things in mind, and make sure that there's somebody else who would always work this out if this person is not available. So these things have to be planned and informed in prior, so that there is no hindrance to these projects and the program, because one mistake can cost a lot of money for the company, which is something which the company will not take so easily. So you'll have to be very careful, because if something goes wrong, they will not blame that particular person. They'll blame you as a program manager, that you were not responsible enough. And in those cases, you will have to accept that and take ownership, and because it's definitely your baby and you haven't taken care of it, and it's your fault, right? So you'll have to make sure that everything is planned very well, be a very good planner and a good organizer. right? And make sure you follow the initiatives. And as a program manager, it's very important to understand project management as well. Very important. You don't have to like be very qualified. They're not like necessary qualifications to become a program manager. I mean, I don't believe in that. But still, if you learn few project management methodologies, like agile, there's so many, right, trends too. It's very important to sort of learn few methodologies. So this actually depends on what kind of projects you're working on. If you're a technical program manager or a business program manager, the requirements vary. But it's very important to learn few methodologies that sort of kind of helps you in just organizing the entire program in a better way. Nothing more than that. It just sort of helps you do things. You sort of have gives you a direction of how to follow and organize things well, right? um, and you also, in that way, you also tend to be detail oriented. A lot of times we don't get into the details, which again becomes a hindrance, because that's when we don't look at the risks which are associated. So if you learn these methodologies, you make sure that you look into, you become very process oriented, very detail oriented, and then which really helps you in greater and successful execution, right? One more important quality as a program manager is very important, is to manage different kinds of people, because you're managing the entire umbrella. You're the umbrella. You're managing so many people, so many projects under you. There are a lot of times, and it's very normal that people have conflicts. There would be conflicts between within each project team. There would be conflicts between different teams. It could be for anything. Sometimes it could be like, maybe what somebody would complain or raise a concern, saying that you've allocated greater budget for the other project, but we are working more, why are we not allocated? They might just come up with certain things, certain concerns. There'll be conflicts happening between different teams. Within the team there'll be conflicts. Somebody will feel that they are being too pressurized, somebody will feel that the other person is getting less pressurized. There'll be concerns which they'll come up with. There'll be different kinds of people you'll have to manage. In such cases, if they come up to you, you can't be like, no, no, you have to do your job, that's your job, so you have to do it. uh, that's not a quality of a good program manager. You can't be like, no, no, you have to do it, I can't help it, I have to report to my boss. So you can't say stuff like that, because that sort of doesn't help that person in any way. If that person is demotivated, or whatever you say, like what you say will be again a negative demotivator for that person, which is not good at all in a healthy environment. So, as a program manager, it's very important for me to empathize with the other person, to understand their real concern. Okay, so you have to ask questions and try and find out what's the real problem, and find a solution. Give a right solution for that problem, so that the problem is addressed in the right manner, and not just avoiding the problem. Never avoid the problems, always find a solution for that problem. So if there are any concerns raised, try and empathize with that person, because try and keep yourself in that person's shoes, and in that person's position, and try and see like what that person really thinks like, and then you start thinking that way, and then you find a solution for it. Okay, let that person reflect on that problem, and then find a solution there, right? So it's very important to sort of do that with with different people who are involved in the project, because that way you sort of create make it keep it healthy, and not create not letting these conflicts overpower the entire journey of this program, and sort of create difficulties for you. That's not what you want, right? So yeah, so making sure you manage people, very important quality as a program manager, right? As So initially when the project starts, you have an objective of the program, right? That this is your goal. And obviously there would be a lot of money involved in running the entire program. So your objective would also be that you have an ROI on whatever you're running on. Your program needs to be successful, right? So you have to understand your goal or the objective of the program very well, and making sure that whatever you're doing, whatever projects are running, whatever this program is working on, making sure that it's aligning with the objective which was planned at the very beginning, and making sure that it works very well, right? Also, the budget allocation and the resource allocation is very important. You have to know that you don't allocate more resources at a place where it's not required. At a project where you think three people are would suffice, you don't allot an extra person there just because you think that the team is too small. You don't do that. You have to align resources based on the work or the amount of work which is involved in that project, and the costs also would be allocated likewise, right? You don't really, that's very important, because that way resource allocation and money allocation is very important, because otherwise you kind of like, it does not make sense at all. That planning has to be very well made by you, right? And last but not the least, leadership and management skills. Be a good leader, lead by example, and leader doesn't mean showing authority and trying to say that, okay, you do your job, you do this. Nothing. Leader means somebody who will understand you, somebody who will not advise you, but somebody who will try to understand your concerns and help you resolve your problems yourself. Okay, not being authoritative, but understanding and a good manager, right? Yeah, so these are the qualities and responsibilities as a program manager, which is very important and essential. So if you all are interested in a career of program management, you know what it looks like, right? So yeah, that's all for today, and thank you for watching my video, and I'll come up with more such informative videos. If you like my video and you want more of such content based videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I'm gonna post more of such informative videos. Thank you and bye.